So the Cleveland Cavaliers played their first game after the All-Star break, and it was a smash-mouth basketball game, something that doesn't really get said too often in this current state of the NBA. But every time the Cavs face the Nets, it ends up being a scrappy kind of game where whoever can focus and lock in for the longest amount of time wins, and tonight it was the Cavs who took over and had their second Cavalanche of the game in the fourth quarter. Yeah, they had 2 Cavalanches in 48 minutes. It was kind of nuts, and Jarrett Allen was just a workhorse, finishing the game with 16 points and 20 rebounds. He finished the game with a big smile on his face when he looked up at the Jumbotron to see those 20 rebounds. I don't even think he realized that he had that many until he checked out. But that's just what he does, man. Night in and night out, he's consistent, he shows up, and he just is a freak of nature on the court. And he was 8 of 9, so super efficient shooting the ball, and I hope he can carry this mindset through the rest of the unofficial second half of the season, even though it's more of like the last third of the season. We finally got to see Isaac Okoro back on the court in this game. It was great to see. He knocked down a big 3 in the corner. He also played aggressive like he usually does. Basically, he was just his usual self. And also, we should be getting to see Dean Wade pretty soon because he's just been out forever, man. I've been saying this a lot recently, but I'm starting to think that Dean Wade is just officially an injury-prone player because I feel like every year he misses about half the season, and then in the playoffs, he's also usually a no-go. But yeah, this was another one of those games where the entire starting lineup outside of Max Strus was in double figures. Actually, the core 4 all had above 15 points, and then the bench came through as well and provided some sparks. I thought overall the shooting was not the best tonight, but it was just one of those games where the scrappiest team won, and that is exactly what Cleveland was. Big thanks to Jarrett Allen and Evan Mobley. I also really love Deandre Hunter. He wasn't efficient today, but I just love the way he plays. He is such an upgrade from George Niang. So yeah, let's just talk about this game. The Cavs won 110-97, but before we get into everything, I would really appreciate it if you would drop a like and subscribe. It only takes 5 seconds, plus you can always change your mind. We are on the road to 50,000 subscribers now, and with your support, I believe that we can get there super fast. Alright, so one of the things from this game that really just bit the Cavs in the foot over and over again was their inability to knock down free throws. I get that they were coming off the break, but still, you gotta be locked in and you gotta knock those down because they made this game a lot harder than it had to be. I thought the Nets played with a lot of energy, but in terms of basketball, they were nowhere near on the same playing field as this Cavs team. The Cavs are way deeper, they have more talent on the front end. Just overall 1 through 10, they are pretty much better player by player all the way down. I thought Ty Jerome once again came in and steadied the ship because the Cavs got off to a rocky start offensively, but he came in, he made a floater, I'm pretty sure, and then I know he knocked down that one big 3 when it looked like he was going to be setting up the offense, and the Nets called timeout, and from there the Cavs got into a flow for about the next 10 minutes, but they just closed out the second half very poorly because of Donovan Mitchell not taking care of the ball and just doing some crazy things that he didn't need to do. But overall, Donovan Mitchell was solid in this game. He had 26 points with 5 rebounds and 2 assists, but it's just those turnovers and the missed free throws that kind of got on my nerves. But man, every time Donovan Mitchell is in Brooklyn, for some reason, he feels like he's Michael Jordan because he was just trying to throw down some crazy dunks. And if you think back to last year, he actually made one of them, and it was one of the highlights of the season, as well as Isaac Okoro's late game corner 3. It may not have seemed like it from the stat sheet, but Evan Mobley was the true MVP of this game. He played 30 minutes and had 18 points and 13 rebounds. I know Allen had 16 and 20. He was huge as well, but Evan Mobley, he just really steadied the ship. And defensively, there were so many things he did that didn't appear on the stat sheet. And he could have had like 10 blocks in this game realistically. I know he only had 3, but the way he affects shots is just nuts. It's very Wemby-like. Well, maybe I shouldn't make that comparison right now because of the news that came out about Wemby. Hopefully he heals up soon. That is some serious stuff. That's scary stuff. I'm glad they were able to catch that blood clot when they did because that's how Chris Bosh had his career end. One thing I still don't kind of understand is why Ty Jerome does not play a lot of minutes. He only had 17 in this game. I really would love to see him consistently play around 25. There must be something to that. Obviously, Kenny Atkinson is smarter than I am, but I just feel like every time Ty Jerome comes in, he does the same thing over and over again. He's literally the definition of consistency, and he just steadies the ship. When he comes in, everything slows down. Donovan Mitchell plays a lot more relaxed, and also Ty Jerome is a good defender and has some decent size as well for being a point guard. I would love to see Jerome get some of those Max Strus minutes because Max Strus is actually Mr. Inconsistent. If you were to describe inconsistency, it would be Strus, because in Toronto, he just lit them up, but then he came in today and had 5 points and was 2 of 10 from the field. But one thing I can say about Strus is that he plays like a dog and he just makes winning plays. He had 5 fouls today. I thought he was one of the few guys on the team that didn't play soft. So yeah, that's what Max Strus brings. He brings intensity and he just fights. He's not afraid to make the hard foul. So I guess I do kind of see the value that he brings, but I just don't like his offense at all. I think he takes out of rhythm shots and it showed on the stat sheet. But take what I'm saying with a grain of salt, because I know usually when I'm just ranting, a lot of what I say has to do with recency bias. He'll probably come in against the Knicks tomorrow and will shoot 3 of 3 from behind the arc, and all of a sudden I'll be like, oh, I love Max Strus. So yeah, take what I'm saying with a grain of salt, but I just think sometimes he can be very inconsistent. He's like J.R. Smith if he wasn't to go on those crazy hot streaks and didn't have near the athleticism. But the guy who really offsets what Max Strus does comes off the bench, and his name is Deandre Hunter. What a trade Kobe Altman made. I love the style of basketball that Hunter brings to this team. He only had 9 and 4 and shot 3 of 10, but he was +8, and I just love his defense. That's the main thing, and also his shot creation, because when the offense gets stagnant, you can give him the ball, and he can find his own shot. He knocked down 2 big threes in a row, and one of them was crazy. It was like a step back, leaning way back over a tall defender, and he still drilled it. And that is something Georges Niang never could do. Georges Niang relied completely on Donovan Mitchell and Garland to get him his looks. But yeah, man, that's really all I have to say. Would have been nice to see Sam Merrill knock down some shots. I don't understand why he played 25 minutes and Jerome only played 17. He was 1 of 6 from the floor. He was playing some really good basketball and was knocking down a lot of threes before we went to the break. But hopefully what we saw today is not a trend of things to come, because we need Sam Merrill to step up and we need him to knock down open shots. Also, just realized I haven't really talked much about Darius Garland. He played 28 minutes, had 18 points with 2 rebounds and 9 assists, and he was just a wizard out there. There was a couple passes he made, like that one he made to Okoro, that just completely threw the defense off, and he was also 6 of 12, +10. And the thing I love about this team is what they're doing is sustainable thanks to how Kenny Atkinson runs it. I know I complain about the minutes, but nobody played above 30. I think that is going to go a long way in keeping this team fresh and healthy down the stretch of the season, which is really the most important thing alongside of keeping that #1 seed. But yeah, I'm going to stop yapping. Let me know what you guys thought about this game in the comments below. Here's what some of the guys had to say in their post-game interviews.
It wasn't a masterpiece, that's for sure, but give the Nets credit. They're physical, really physical. Kind of makes the game choppy, so we didn't ever really catch an offensive rhythm, but I thought our defense was good all night.
That's all I got for this video. Thank you all so much if you made it to this point, and if you enjoyed and haven't yet, please be sure to drop a like and subscribe, because your support truly does mean the world. And until next time, I will see you all later.